Hello student, myself Sanjay Parmanik. Today I am going to teach science for Standard 3, Chapter 1, Living and Non-Living Things. Living and non-living things. So student, when we get up early in the morning or when we see around us, what we see? We see both living as well as non-living things around us. Okay, so when we get up in the morning, what we see around us? We see living and non-living things around us. Your mother, father, cow, animal, goat, after that trees, they are all what? They are all called living things. Another non-living things that we see around us, chair, table, bench, books, copies, they are non-living things. So first, we will be discussing what are living things. What are living things? Living things that have life in them. What are living things? Things that have life in them are called living things. Things that have life in them are called living things. Example what? Plants, animals and human being. Plants, animals and human being. These are example of living thing. So what are living things? Things that have life in them are called living things. Example, plants, animals and human being. Next, what are non-living things? What are non-living things? This non-living thing is just opposite of living thing. Things that does not have life. Things that does not have life in them are called non-living things. What are non-living things? Things that does not have life in them are called non-living things. Examples of non-living things are cars, rocks, mountain, buildings, roads, chair, table, etc. They are example of non-living things. What are non-living things? Things that does not have life in them are called non-living things. Example, car, rocks, mountain, buildings, roads, etc. These are all example of non-living things. Now these living and non-living things, they are divided into two parts. Living and non-living things are divided into two parts. One is natural thing and the other is man-made things. One is natural thing and the other is man-made things. Natural things means what? Things that are given to us by nature. Things that are given to us by nature, or we can say God gifted. They are called natural things. Example, rocks, mountains, rivers, sun, moon, etc. They are the example of natural things. So things that are given to us by nature or God gifted are called natural things. Example, rocks, mountains, rivers, sun, moon, etc. These all are natural things. Now man-made things. What are man-made things? Things that are made by human beings. Things that are made by human beings. They are called man-made things. What are man-made things? Things that are made by human beings are called man-made things. Example, roads, cars, building, etc. Many more are there. So, man-made things, things that are made by human beings are called man-made things. Example, roads, cars, building, etc. So, we have read till now living things, non-living things. Difference living thing and non-living thing, it is divided into two: natural thing, man-made things. Now, we will be learning what is the difference between living thing and non-living things. Now we'll be discussing about different between living things and non-living things. Different between living things and non-living things. First, many differences are there. First difference, living things can move. Living things move. First difference is living thing move. Human beings and animal, what they do, they move on its own. Human being and animal, they move on their own. Why? In search of food and shelter. Human beings and animals, they can move on their own. For what? In search of food and shelter. But plants, they are also living beings. Plants are also living beings, but they cannot move. They cannot move, but they show different movement in different ways. But plants do not move. Plant, being a living being, cannot move, but shows movement in different ways. So, living things move. Human beings and animals, they can move on their own. Why? In search of food and shelter. But plants, being a living thing, cannot move, but shows movement in different ways. Example, sunflower. Sunflower shows movement by facing towards the sun. You have seen the sunflower early in the morning. When the sun rises, the sunflower turns its face towards the sun. So, sunflower shows movement by turning its face toward the sun. As the sun moves down, the sunflower also moves toward that direction. But non-living things, does not move on their own. But non-living things cannot move on their own. Suppose, for example, if you take a cricket ball or a football, till we don't kick a football or we don't throw a cricket ball, it will remain in its own place. So these balls are example of non-living things.